You know, there really is no shortage of anime to tune into nowadays. For some, that can either be a problem or a blessing. For your typical anime binge-watching nerd, this would be the equivalent of Amy Schumer finding out that people actually like her stand-up comedy. For someone just getting into anime, the sheer volume and options available could potentially overwhelm a contemplating viewer, causing them to vexingly turn away. In this video, I will cover 10 anime series, hopefully convincing you to at least try out one of them, and in the best case scenario, have you tune into all of them. All are prominent series, have made huge waves across social media with their series debuts, announcement of future seasons, fluid animation, compelling and charismatic characters, and engrossing plot. Starting off, we have Ichiro Oda's very own One Piece, known collectively as one of the big three alongside Naruto and Bleach. Spanning over 1,000 episodes, 15 movies, and 9 arcs, One Piece has been a fan favorite for decades. The story follows the protagonist Monkey D. Luffy. Starting out as a boy, he grew up in his hometown known as Fuchsia Village, where he encountered his idol and former member of the previous Pirate King's crew, red-haired Shanks. Having seen how brave and sophisticated Shanks was, Luffy wanted to join Shanks' crew, but because he was only a little kid at the time, it was inconceivable that Shanks would take Luffy out to sail the Grand Line with him. Wanting to prove to Shanks that he could become a great pirate, Luffy set out to sea determined to gather a capable crew, become the king of the pirates, and find the legendary treasure that is said to contain everything this world has to offer, the One Piece. As an extremely long-running series, I can understand why someone would be discouraged to watch this. However, wanting to find out what the One Piece is, seeing the Straw Hats engage, support, and believe in each other, the clean and extensively choreographed fights, the development of multiple character arcs, the hundreds of compelling designs, a vast amount of world building, the evolving of a character's powers to become even more versatile and dependable, and the impactful moments that really touch your heart have kept me around for so long, and maybe it could do the same for you. Number 2, Naruto. Premiering in Japan in October of 2002, Masashi Kishimoto's anime Naruto, also regarded as one of the big three, spanned 220 episodes up until 2007, where it was continued with the addition of the Naruto Shippuden series that spanned 500 episodes from 2007 to 2016. The story starts with an orphan boy Naruto growing up in the village hidden in the leaves. He is discriminated against by the other villagers due to him carrying the demon nine-tailed fox inside him that nearly caused the destruction of the leaf 12 years prior on the day Naruto was born. Despite being considered an outcast and a demon by the villagers and having no parents for guidance or support, Naruto is determined to become the strongest ninja in his village and acquire the title of Hokage. With the ever-lingering threat of the Akatsuki looming over the 5 great nations, with the organization's goal being the capturing of all nine-tailed beasts, including Naruto's nine-tailed fox sealed away inside him, together with his squad, teachers, and friends and fellow shinobi, they work, train, and fight to defend the village hidden in the leaves and to keep Naruto out of the Akatsuki's hands. Being one out of the top 2 of my favorites of all time, I would highly recommend this series to anybody. And no, I don't recommend it or like it just because it's an anime everybody knows about. It tells a great story, Naruto being the underdog academy failure, being a worthless, being a good for nothing, to pulling himself up with his own strength and becoming the Hokage. Great character development and continuity, the friendship between Naruto and Sasuke, all the way up to the climax of the show, and cool power concepts with legacy characters that have made their mark throughout the entirety of the anime community are just some of the several things that go into making Naruto one of my top 2 favorite anime of all time. Number 3, Hunter x Hunter. First premiering with the manga in 1998 and brought to life by its creator, Yoshihiro Togashi, Hunter x Hunter has received much praise from the anime community, most notably with praise for its intricate power system and debates that have one of the best known arcs in anime, with that being the Chimera Ant arc. The manga release was followed with the anime adaptation in 1999 and then brought back to life with the heavily and graciously bestowed, remastered, and reanimated adaptation in 2011. The story follows Gon, a young, high-spirited, innocent 12-year-old boy who was left behind by his father, who's one of the best hunters in the world. A profession assigned to licensed individuals tasked with finding rare artifacts, locating and studying rare mythical beasts, and even hired assassination is an option for your more sinister hunter. Gon aims to find his dad and become a hunter just like him, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no set purpose behind why he wants to do this. During one scene, it can be debated that he just wants to talk to his dad and have a father-son relationship, but I suppose it's up to the viewer's own interpretation. organization. On his journey to become a hunter and find his dad, he makes friends with a peculiar but compatible group of friends, gets entangled with an extremely powerful criminal organization, getting transported into a dangerous survival-based video game meant only for hunters, and encountering mythical chimera ants, dangerous evolving creatures that take on the characteristics or attributes of the prey they consume, with these dangerous ants slowly evolving into ant-human hybrids while at the same time becoming sentient to such a degree that they develop plans to harvest humans for food. Gon and his group of accompanying friends and fellow hunters set a plan in motion to topple the dutiful Paramount Royal Guard and the Chimera Ant King. Number 4, My Hero Academia. While not having as extensive of a history as my previous anime listed, My Hero Academia has made a big name for itself in the anime community, being regarded by a large majority of people to be one of the new big 3, alongside Tanjiro from Demon Slayer and Asta from Black Clover. With currently 5 seasons available to watch, with the 6th season releasing this year in 2022, My Hero Academia tells the compelling story surrounding the young and aspiring hero, Izuku Midoriya. Growing up in a world where 80% of people are born with unique powers called quirks, Izuku aspires to one day manifest his quirk and become the #1 hero. However, our protagonist comes to find out that he is one of the 20% of the population that can't manifest a quirk. Brought to the lowest point in his life, Izuku comes across the current #1 hero, who after seeing that Midoriya has what it takes to be a hero, he bestows his own quirk, one for all, upon Izuku. From there, Izuku begins his journey to become the #1 hero, entering the most prestigious hero academy in the country, training to master and control his stockpiling quirk known as One for All, and taking on the increasingly growing threat that is the League of Villains. This is a very simple story. There are good guys and bad guys. They have superpowers and good tries to prevail. Almost like X-Men, which the creator Kohei Horikoshi derived a lot of inspiration from. Some of the characters are actually modeled after established X-Men characters like Beast in Class 1A, which is just a cool little fact I thought you might like to know. To me, this is a really grounded story. It's one that's been told before, but has been resuscitated and incorporated with Japanese attributes or elements. For example, the pervy personality or traits of Mineta that are pretty standard in Japanese manga, and bits of Japanese architecture sprinkled throughout the series. There are some compelling twists on the presented power concepts held by both heroes and villains alike. Best Jeanist Fiber quirk is a twist on the inclusive string ability seen throughout other anime, and Bakugo's explosion quirk, being very versatile and giving him mobility and great destructive power, is creative and fitting for his intermittent explosive personality. The progressive rise of the League of Villains is engrossing. Starting out with few members and led by what seemed like an angry teenager, they rose to prominent power, rivaling that of the heroes and shaking the hero society to its core. With the ongoing training of the heroes and the development of their quirks, they strive to surpass their predecessors and to protect the crumbling of the hero society from the League of Villains. Number 5, Bleach. Premiering with the manga release in 2001 and the anime series debuting in 2004, Bleach became one of the big 3 due to the expansive publicity it received, most notably with the centering around its main character on the several published Shonen Jump covers. The story follows Ichigo Kurosaki, a high school student that has the ability to see ghosts. One night, a soul reaper named Rukia Kuchiki is facing death, with her only way out being that Ichigo must stab himself in the chest and become a Shinigami just like her. After becoming a soul reaper, he protects his home Karakura town from invading hollows and other imposing threats, such as the threat of Aizen and his Espada, an army of Arrancar that aim to awaken the Hogyoku and transcend the boundaries of Shinigami, hollows, and as the story normally goes, rule over the world. Ichigo doesn't necessarily have a goal like standard anime protagonists do. His only goal just seems to be protecting innocent people, and of course that includes his own family and Orihime-chan. No wanting to become the strongest Soul Reaper or striving for power for selfish interests, just him wanting to be a good person and do the right thing essentially. The ranking of the hollows explained during the invasion of the Hueco Mundo arc was a bit overwhelming to grasp at first. Some parts of the series feel a bit contrived, and how they're resolved comes off as a bit convenient, but overall an excellent series. There are great OSTs, the Espada's designs are really distinctive, with even better designs to come from the 1000-Year Blood War arc, and the captivating anti-heroes like Ulquiorra Silver and Grimjaw Jägerjack. If I butchered his last name, forgive me. Number 6, Full Metal Alchemist. The story follows the compelling and indissoluble relationship between the two Elric brothers, Edward and Alphonse. Based on the law of equivalent exchange comes the harnessing of the power of alchemy, the metaphysical art of understanding the structure of matter, breaking it down, and reconstructing it into something else. Through the use of alchemy, the Elric brothers attempt to bring their dead mother back to life. However, using the fundamental elements that become the building blocks of a person's chemical makeup, they cannot transmute a living soul into a body. The drawback back for attempting human transmutation, which is taboo, causes Alphonse to lose his entire body and Edward to lose his entire arm and leg. Despite the tragedy that occurred that night, Edward was able to bind his brother's soul to a nearby suit of armor. In order to get his brother's body back, the Elric brothers seek out the Philosopher's Stone, which can bypass the law of equivalent exchange. However, obtaining it may not be as easy as it seems. There are so many great elements to this series. Having a brother myself, I can relate to the means Edward would go through in order to keep his brother safe and take care of him. The execution of the use of alchemy is visually and capturing. There are great characters with suspenseful dramatic twists included in their character arcs, the humor included by poking fun at the protagonist's height, the mystery surrounding the metaphysical being truth that punishes those who attempt human transmutation or attempt to play God, the introduction of another organization or faction, that being the homunculi that are based off of the 7 deadly sins, with each homunculus being named according to the sin that they embody or represent. There are so many great attributes included in the Full Metal Alchemist series, and it is one I could discuss for hours and would recommend to anyone. Number 7. Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer hasn't been around for that long, and it has already made its presence known throughout the anime community. Debuting in 2019, just 3 years ago, Demon Slayer has already aired 2 seasons, with the 3rd season on the way, set to release in the fall of 2023. The film Mugen Train also made its debut in theaters, earning a record $494 million, making it the most revenue-generated anime film of all time. Just 3 years on the big screen, and it has this much publicity. And I remember back in grade school, I got made fun of for watching Naruto, and now you've got kids doing the Naruto run in school, and anime is now available to watch on several of the top streaming platforms available today. Getting back to Demon Slayer, the story begins with the introduction of the protagonist Tanjiro Kamado and his family. They are poor, but hopeful and cheerful. One day, Tanjiro is out selling charcoal for his family and comes back to find his entire family slaughtered aside from his sister Nezuko. Brushing to her side, Tanjiro realizes that his sister has been turned into a demon. Despite her urge to ingest human flesh, Nezuko is able to resist devouring her brother, despite doing so being completely unheard of by a demon. Eventually coming across a former Hashira, the highest combatant of the Demon Slayer Corps, Tanjiro is trained to become a Demon Slayer in order to acquire the skill needed to track down the one who slaughtered his family and search for a way to turn his sister back into a human. This really is an excellent series that is easy to understand and follow along with. It definitely had my attention after the first episode, and by the end of the second episode, I knew I was going to binge watch the rest of the series. The idea of incorporating breathing styles as the foundation of your power concept is something I could grasp at first, but later on it really makes you think, can just breathing really do all of this? I'll be honest too, there are times I wish Zenitsu would just shut the hell up, but you can't always get what you want. He is a badass when he's asleep though. Overall, a great series that covers a lot of the essentials in just the first season, and it is a series I'll easily be watching even 20 years from now, guaranteed. Number 8. One Punch Man. Considered one of the most controversial anime to watch, One Punch Man is very similar to My Hero Academia and tells a grounded story that is a tale as old as time. The story follows Saitama, a regular everyday working man that is distressed over the life he is living. Being a middle-aged man, working a job he doesn't like till the day he dies, drives Saitama to train to become a hero that saves people. Having only trained using a basic training regime, Saitama obtains immeasurable power, rivaling that of even Goku apparently. Since I have only seen about 16 episodes of just Dragon Ball Z, I can't side with one or the other. After becoming a hero, Saitama ends up saving the cyborg Genos during an attack by some mosquito-draining psychopath. Seeing such immense power from Saitama, easily defeating the monster that was about to take his life, Genos becomes Saitama's student, much to his dismay. Together, they register to become heroes, work to rise in the hero rankings, and protect the citizens of various neighboring cities from the monsters that seem to unexpectedly arise out of nowhere. Having a relatively short first season with only 12 episodes, and as noted before, having a grounded story, One Punch Man is an anime that can cater to any audience without being engulfing. Number 9. Black Clover. Being super hyped for the next arc to stream on Crunchyroll and hearing about the future twists and powerful villains to be opposed, I'm happy to include Black Clover in my list. The story begins with 2 boys being left on the doorstep of a chapel owned by a poor priest who takes the boys in, naming them Asta and Yuno. Having grown since their adoption, they aspire to leave the Forsaken Realm they live in and become magic knights of the Clover Kingdom. Yuno, having incredible skill over wind magic and being the golden child essentially, is expected to pass the knight exam with no complications. Asta, however, was born with the inability to use magic. Because of this shortcoming, Asta has trained immensely to such a degree that he could give Rock Lee a run for his money. By doing this, he is able to compete with Yuno and save him from a thief attempting to steal Yuno's grimoire, while at the same time acquiring his own grimoire. Now having the ability to really compete with Yuno and hold his own, both Asta and Yuno become magic knights, joining their own squads and being introduced to several new compelling characters. Characters they will need to be able to fight against the elf tribe and the even more tyrannical devils, immensely immensely powerful beings that end up becoming the climactic antagonists. I'll be honest, this series isn't my top favorite by any means, but it does have some great moments. Asta and Yuno's friendship and rivalry is compelling and heartwarming. Asta, after the time skip, is badass. Dude got thick as hell, and his redesign makes him look much more like a magic knight. Seeing how powerful the devils are really puts you on the edge of your seat. Their designs too are what really makes them stick out and make them some of my favorite anime antagonists. It starts out really good, then drops off for me, and then really picks up again around the 70 episode mark, where we get to see the Wizard King Julius Novachrono in action. Overall, it is a good series, but if you are a new to anime viewer, I wouldn't recommend this one to start off with. That's just my opinion. Number 10, Jujutsu Kaisen. When I heard about this anime, I heard nothing but praise about it. Gojo Sotaro was a big topic of discussion. Everyone on social media was praising his eyes and how immensely powerful he was, even the character himself stating to be the strongest with zero irresolution, and trust me, every statement is 100% precise. The story starts off surrounding the teenage high schooler Itadori Yuji. After consuming a severed cursed finger, the ancient king of curses Sukuna is reincarnated inside of Itadori. Having been captured and taken to Tokyo Jujutsu High, he agrees to consume the rest of Sukuna's fingers in an effort to fully reincarnate the King of Curses. However, he must die after doing so in order to eliminate Sukuna. While attempting to locate the remaining fingers, Itadori learns about Jujutsu sorcery and takes on the immensely growing threat of a group of special great curses that are slowly evolving to such a degree they could potentially turn the entire world population into curses. I have nothing but good things to say about this series. Gojo is a badass, and true to his own words, he is the strongest. There are several other great characters like Todo, Inumaki, Nanami, and of course Itadori. I really just like his hair scheme and how much athletic prowess he has and his fashion style. The animation is perfect, and I emphasize on perfect in every episode. How cursed energy can be used for the development of visually captivating techniques is creative. There are several impressive strong female characters that can really take center stage and hold their own without making it their character's purpose to shame and belittle men. Overall, an easy 9 out of 10 if not higher for me. A short series with only having one season available to watch that I promise will not disappoint. Having concluded my top 10 anime recommendations list, I would like to say this list is not in any particular order, and anyone has the right to have a differing opinion. Anyway, stay tuned for the next video.